I'm sure many of you are here because you know we have Marcus Samuellson, who is celebrity chef, fashion icon. He was here last year, now Barbados ambassador. And I was going over in my head on the way here all the things that you've done in the last year. I don't want to take up the whole 45 minutes because I could do that.
Yes.
But excited to say that the Red Rooster is now open. And if any of you is getting all of the acclaim it absolutely deserves. Marcus is transforming Harlem, getting so many more people there, and of course serving awesome food. So that's fantastic. We can't remember if you won Top Chef Masters before we were here or after we were here, but he's obviously a winner of that. I highly recommend you pick up his book, have him sign it, because he's going to be one of the most famous people you've ever seen live.
First of all, I'm super excited to be back. When you sort of set your year up and the Food&Wine folks asked you, do you want to come back to Barbados? You would go like, yes. I grew up eating chicken the way from my grandmother. Roasted chicken one day, chicken soup the next day, and even chicken dumpling the day after that. All of those 3 meals were fantastic. So, because you cook something that is simple or affordable, does not mean it shouldn't taste good, right? So, learning how to take care of the whole bird is key. In the US, we throw away 30% of all our food we throw away. Maybe in Barbados it's lower, but in the US we throw away 30% of all of our food. We have 10 million kids every night go to bed hungry. If you want to wipe hunger out, if we take care of 5% of the leftover food that we throw out, 5%, if we get that number from 30 to 25, we wipe out all hunger. So each person here, we have an opportunity to cook the right food, but also to do the right thing. Right? I think this is incredible. The beaches, the hotels, and we want to stay in comfort. But also make sure you get out of this environment and go where the people are at. And have habits the way you would do in Italy or France. Right? We would go to the center of the town, we would go to the museum. Well, maybe here the museum is oyster. It's live, it's music, it's culture. So the food there is great because I'm around with other people. Coolest things I've ever seen. Just a square, people know how to dance, and if you don't know, you're the fool, then you got to participate, right? And that's the best way. That's local. You can't get that in New York. You can't get that in Paris. That's when the food becomes really, really good.
We're here tonight with Marcus Samuellson at the Barbados Food&Wine and Rum Festival. It's been a great day. I was so inspired by your cooking demonstration. Talk a little bit about the highlights of being in Barbados again this year.
Well, I love it. You know, the whole festival has grown. It's much, much bigger and a lot of different chefs. But I love also that it's a lot of local chefs involved. That makes it fun.
You know, democracy is just a big theme for you on all fronts. Access to protein, liberty of a confluence of influences, so just not being afraid to mash it up. Tell us about how you began to see food as a means of mass communication.
You know, as chefs that always work in fine dining and very almost elitist environment, for me it was very important to start to look at the world differently. And I think the recession actually helped me doing that. And we in the developed world that are educated should lead that conversation. For me, it comes back to eating with a spiritual compass.
You bring such charm and savoir-faire, like true savoir-faire, into the kitchen in a way that I haven't seen it in many years. So, you know, you got quite successful at a young age. Do you attribute a lot of this kind of success to that ability to communicate, your ability to connect with audiences?
For me, it inspires so people can aspire. Like inspire, aspire is very, very important. We are lucky that we have an audience and platforms where people come to us every day. And with that, I want to fill it with good. And I want to, you know, sometimes food can be very serious when we deal with famine or diabetes or, you know, allergies. Sometimes it's just the social thing. Sometimes it's culture. Sometimes we want to show you. You know, food can be so many different things. So it's important to be relevant in all those conversations and inspire so people can aspire.
I feel like you're a very deeply social person. I know you've got a lot of friends who've really supported you. Who are your top 5, you know, personal dinner guests, guests who don't go to the register, but who actually eat in your home? Who are those 5 favorite people?
Well, I mean, the social caution is coming from my upbringing. You know, if you come from, you know, for me, being born in Ethiopia and go back to Ethiopia, and my wife working with famine, it's not something that we brush out lightly. You know, it has a deep impact. And for me, growing up in Sweden, so it's something that I was taught and is in my life. And as a chef, I think I have a responsibility, and I look at it from that way. You know, having people, you know, breaking bread is one of the most fun and intimate things that you can do. So having people come over to the house, I always love when my soccer team comes over because they come from all over the world.
Okay.
You know, the whole idea with the soccer team is that they're Scandinavians, but one is Iranian Scandinavian, one is Moroccan, one is Jewish. I mean, it's like, so you get to know the world through that soccer team, and it's fun, but it's always passionate, big conversations on the table.
So one thing that I really enjoy about the high literacy of what your publishing projects are about and your cooking experiments is that you really have eaten your way across America in a very systematic way. Are there any frontiers left for you? Like, is there any weird pueblo that you haven't been and you haven't tasted? So there's still, what's out there in America that you still want to taste?
What I love about American food is it's evolving. When I came, it was hard sometimes to find great bread once you get outside New York or San Francisco. This journey we're on right now, American palate, reshaping American palate, and it's amazing. You know, you can go to a place like Charleston where you see the past, literally, but you also see the future.
It's a little bit of a dish that you are presenting tonight at the Barbados Festival.
Today I'm doing a jerk and rum spice pork with cow beans and picklings that are, the pickles are really inspired by spicy, hot Caribbean pickles. So it's a dish that has a terroir and DNA in the Caribbean, and specifically Barbados.
And thank you so much for talking to the Global Mail, Marcus. Thank you.
you.
Have a good one. Have a good night.